Good morning, Michael. Thank you for joining us this morning. We've been reflecting, Michael, if you can hear me, if you're with us. He is on his way. We've been reflecting, Michael, morning, about the fact that we're using this word cancer shock. Now, maybe Andrew and I are sort of harder to shock, but I suppose it's upsetting, but it isn't shocking that a man of 75, when 50% of people get cancer, might find something during a procedure. But I think the reason that it is impactful, let's say, is the fact that he's only had this job for 18 months as king, having waited in the wings for so long. And I guess it's the uncertainty that this provokes which makes this feel like there are bigger reverberations.
Good morning, Bev. Good morning, Andrew. You make some excellent points there. We live in momentous times, you know, and a lot has changed since 6 o'clock last night, particularly that Prince William will now be, perforce, having to take a more prominent role, something which perhaps he would have preferred to defer for a decade or so. He's going to be front and centre for quite a long time now, at the same time as he's looking after his wife, who we know has gone, there we see her in happier times, gone through a quite major operation, the details of which are as yet undisclosed. So at the same time, Prince William will, of course, know that his younger brother is in the country, and the chances of reconciliation are, I think, very slim after Prince Harry accused him of violence towards him and then made other allegations, cruel and unkind allegations against his wife, the Princess of Wales. Even the arrival of Harry presents some problems because the treatment of cancer, as the king is now going to undergo, require people to stay away from other people, to avoid infection. Well, Prince Harry's coming 5,000 miles from California. Of course, the biblical prodigal son is always welcome. But if you remember in the Bible, it says that the father, when the son returned after being a wastrel and wasting his money, the father fell upon his neck, as it says in the St. James's Bible, meaning he hugged him. But I don't know how much hugging will be going on, because the king will be advised very strongly by his doctors to avoid physical contacts with people, because it's all part of the treatment. You don't go near anybody who might bring infection into your world. So it's just your immediate family circle. So a lot has changed, and it's going to be a lot of difficulty things happening. And of course, we are all taken aback by it, while we and the whole of GB community, GB News community, and you, we all wish him the very best of good fortune. He certainly seems to be taking it well. He seems to be showing an outward positive view. And that is only right and proper. And of course, being positive is part of the road to recovery.
It's changed, hasn't it, even since the reign of the Queen, because we were never told, were we, that the Queen actually had bone cancer diagnosed perhaps a year before she died. And you wonder if she was in this position, if she'd have been as transparent as Charles, although some people think, of course, he's going to have to be even more transparent and tell us at some point what the cancer is he's got, because of the speculation.
You're absolutely right. And of course, that was the Queen's way. In those days, you didn't talk about it. And of course, it was bone cancer. That's why it advanced so rapidly and killed her. At the time, Buckingham Palace said it was just old age. I actually think the King and Buckingham Palace have done the right things from the very beginning. They've been as candid as they possibly could be. And they've seen the results. I think they'll be judging this. They'll be seeing the comments, public comments and personal comments from people saying, that was inspirational. I went out and got checked. I did this. I rang up this helpline. I went on to this internet advice forum. And I think that is terrific. And I think when the King takes notice of that, I think maybe he will be even more forthright about what is ailing him. Because that, if you're looking for something good that might come out of it, that is one of the few good things that would, that people are being much more publicly aware of their own personal health and do something about it.
What do you think will be going through Prince William's mind at the moment, Michael? And I don't just mean in terms of his son and being worried for his dad. But I mean, in terms of his professional life, this does pose that perhaps events might move more quickly than we might have anticipated 24 hours ago.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it was always going to be, compared with the late Her Majesty, the Queen's reign of 70 years, it was always going to be a short reign for King Charles III. But one could have hoped that it went on for a long time. I mean, the Edwardian age was only 9 years, but King Edward VII gave his name to an age which was viewed in retrospect as a golden age. And one could have hoped for a Carolean age that had some length to it. But of course, people do survive cancer, and they go on very effectively for a long, long time. But I think a lot is going through Prince William's mind. He's put his family quite rightly first, front and centre. He's looking after his children. He's looking after his wife. And they are quite rightly his main priority. But the demands of state, the demands of duty are there. Life isn't one long polo match, and eventually one day he's going to have to be king. If all things go according to what we can anticipate. There you see him in happier times at Smith's Lawn playing polo, carefree. Now, you know, the head that wears the crown also bears the difficulties that go with it. And I'm sure he will be concentrating on that. I'm sure he's ready to take his responsibilities. He's taken his responsibilities by going to the RAF, qualifying, acting as an East Anglian air ambulance pilot. He's seen life at the sharp end, and he knows what's in store, and he's accepted it all. After the death of his mother, he wasn't so sure, but then he knuckled down and he said, right, this is my fate, this is my destiny, and he's embraced it. And there he is in much happier times with his beautiful wife, accepting a trophy. Well, he'll be doing quite a bit of that in the future. And I actually think you couldn't have anybody better doing it. I mean, a surprise poll to me, in America, he was the most popular man in the whole world. And that is quite saying quite something.
Wow.
Yeah.
OK, Michael, good to see you. Thank you so much for your insight this morning. Michael Cole, there, former BBC Royal correspondent. Let's see